Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Victor Escalante Live. What a show we have for you today. This is what us legacy media nerds live for. Controversy.
Yeah.
Controversy and looking at a subject that is on everybody's mind from different angles to come up with your own conclusions. It's like we're just going to explain to you what's happening, give you the behind the scenes story, and then let you form your own conclusions. So we're talking about the controversy that has erupted this week with the release of the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader Netflix documentary. To be honest, I saw the first show and I was totally turned off because I some of you know that I'm an expert in neurolinguistic programming, and where I went to with that first episode was working with a client years ago that she was released in the 68 Olympics because she missed the qualification by 1 point. It traumatized her for life and it completely altered her future because of that one experience. We call that an imprint experience. What I was seeing from the first episode was damage that could stay with these young, impressionable girls for life. Then I began to read stories that were coming out in traditional media, and then I got back to it, and then binge watched the entire 7 hours to be able to really understand what was happening. And so that is why we want to discuss this today. And today we have Jose Monterrosa, who is a media expert. He's been a PR consultant, a storyteller engineer, and an expert in trends, seeing trends evolve over time. And so Jose, take it away. Where do you want to start?
Well, thank you for the invitation again, Victor. Certainly a very hot topic right now, right? I have seen some initial clips of the documentaries. I wouldn't say that I'm the ultimate expert on this,
Okay.
but I have read a lot about what I believe is going on here. So I have my own perspective or my own point of view of what seems to be happening. And so I would like to have that conversation with you because I'm curious about your more about your angle to this controversy that has been generated.
Yeah. And to frame the discussion, we want to put a frame around media, around PR, advertising, and executive leadership, because that's
Yeah.
at the end of the day, that's really what we're talking about, and how America, the current demographic, the current culture is not accepting what is being portrayed in the documentary because, in my opinion, we're talking about a model that goes back to the 70s, that has not
Mhm.
evolved with current times. This has the potential. I would go so far as to say this has the potential to become a Me Too for cheerleaders. That's how far this could go.
Right. And my I guess the lens that I'm looking at this or the way that I'm looking at it is this like a controlled chaos?
Yes.
Uh, yeah. That's what it feels like, right? Because I mean, by doing my own research of the documentary about the cheerleaders, but knowing the fact that there's another documentary that
Yes.
is about to
That
be
is in the
released.
works, right?
Yeah, and it's about the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, and then we have this documentary of the cheerleaders. So and then the other thing is um this is not like breaking news,
No,
like
no.
like
So,
a refinery exploded in
yeah.
East
So let me
Texas.
go
And
there, Jose. Let me go there, Jose.
yeah.
In the old days, if you had run a documentary like this on one of the networks, it would be all over the news. Okay. But
uh,
this was slowly rolled out in Netflix. Okay.
yeah.
And they put a teaser coming soon, the
Right.
documentary. Okay.
Yeah.
So, my question to you, Jose, being an expert in media, is: does Netflix equate mass media? What do you think?
uh I I don't think it does because it's a pay service, and obviously it's a dominant leader, right? In that pay-per-view or membership kind of business model. But I guess they have to be trending in terms of how to generate more viewership.
They're the
Uh,
number one streaming platform. I just read a
mhm,
report. Of all the streaming platforms, all of them are languishing. Netflix has pulled out in front and is
right.
projected to invest billions of dollars in new programming, original programming
Yeah.
created for Netflix.
So,
So
so
I'll ask the
I'm pretty
question again.
sure. Yeah,
Is
I
that
mean, I'm pretty sure they have to have like very ultimate goals,
yes?
of how to acquire new viewers and new members of the service that they have. I mean, I use Netflix, I use Prime from Amazon. So I mean, I whenever I don't find something interesting on Netflix, I go to Amazon and check
Yeah,
it out, right?
yeah.
But the competition is there. Uh, even Univision has their own. They have that Wix or VIX
The streaming service. Yes,
streaming service. Yeah.
yes,
So I mean, I'm watching, for example, right now I'm watching all the soccer games of
yes,
through that service because some of them are not broadcast by Fox.
yes.
So I'm I'm very aware that there's a lot of competition and that Netflix is a top leader in the industry, and they have to find ways to stay on top, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a very very competitive market.
So I want to give you a comparison for you to think about this.
Hmm.
Years ago, when I was working at the Houston Chronicle, and I heard about the controversy of Imus in the morning,
Hmm.
the shock jock in radio, that he called, I believe it was Rutgers University, the basketball players, nappy headed hose. Okay,
Yeah.
when I heard about that, I
Oh boy.
predicted that this is not going to go down well.
Yeah,
It's like
and it didn't.
it didn't.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
in 1 week, because the fire was burning so hot, Imus, a legendary shock jock, was released from radio.
Hmm.
He
Hmm.
was fired because of the controversy. And
Hmm.
so again,
So,
that is being sensitive to the current culture, which Jose, I want you to talk about your take on the current culture of viewers and the consumer and what they're perceiving and how they're perceiving this documentary.
well, I think that we live in a different time, and I think a lot of that you can credit social media for it because it is allowing people to express their opinions in a more, I guess, in a more free way, in a more having the platform to make those issues very viral and very
Yes,
quickly, depending on the network that they have been able to build over social media. But certainly, social media adds a different spin to something that may or could have happened maybe 20 years ago. So having that power in having like a new code of conduct that we need to adhere to because there are certain standards or certain things that you cannot say, right?
yes,
Or you can say.
yes,
And if you look, let's put it this way. If I talk to my kid who is 16 years old, I mean, there are some words that I'm not even, I mean, I have no clue that this meant this, right?
yes,
And I okay, then I'm learning
yes,
through him, and that is happening in that very small group that he is interacting with. If you put this at the regional level, if you put this at the national level, boy, it gets complicated.
yes.
So yes, I mean, but a lot of it we don't know,
We don't know, and
we don't.
that's because we don't know the facts. People want to know more so that they
Right.
can chime in
Hmm.
and really get to the heart of the matter. So let's go
Hmm.
ahead and address what we don't know. Okay,
Right.
we don't know for a fact what the one of the allegations is exploitation of wages.
Hmm.
We don't know.
Hmm.
All that has been reported is one of the cheerleaders saying we're paid about what a Chick-fil-A full-time employee would be earning. Okay.
Right.
The
Yeah.
numbers that are out there anywhere between $12 to $15 an hour.
Right.
Some reports say about $50,000 a year,
Hmm.
and or less than that, 24 to $50,000 a year. But guess what? The water boys earn more
Yeah.
for
Right.
carrying water. To put it in context, the
Yeah.
water boys earn more
Hmm.
without subjecting themselves to all of the things that these young, impressionable 20-year-olds have to go through.
And based on what I know and what I have been able to read, is a water boy falls into, being an employee category
Yes,
inside the NFL system, right?
yes,
The cheerleaders, no, they don't. I mean, they are treated as contractors.
yes.
So that makes a difference in compensation. I think, not that I'm justifying by any means, but I guess when you read about that, and when you analyze the documentary, you have to wonder whether this was intended to be an issue in that documentary. I mean, are they actually trying to deliver a message about this? And I use the word control chaos in the beginning,
Yeah.
because there
So,
are
so
two
let me stop you
things.
there. Let me stop you there.
Yeah.
I'll let you finish your comment because I want to
Uh-huh.
insert something. I
Okay.
think that was by design. That was
Right.
inserted there by design, and I'll tell you why. From a
Hmm.
production point of view, if you don't insert controversy, then it
Hmm.
becomes an infomercial.
Okay. Yeah. Fair
A-
enough.
and the masses are going to say, it's like you wasted 7 hours of my time to watch an
Hmm.
infomercial that doesn't really get into really raw and organic storytelling.
Right. Yeah. And then the other thing is, I mean, this documentary had to have the permission of the Dallas
They had
Cowboys
full
and the
access, by
NFL.
the way. It was
Yeah.
reported that they had full access, nothing barred from videotaping.
Right. So they knew what was coming out
Yes.
on this documentary,
And
right?
so the question, Jose, is was that a good move to give total access to the production crew?
Well, I'm sure that they have some type of control over the script, and because even for doing a documentary, you have to have some type of a script,
Yeah, sure. And if they had control, I think they're behind the times in terms of predicting how this would come off with America in modern days.
I think they knew it was coming. I wouldn't say that I know for 100% that
Yeah,
it was
we don't know.
intended.
We don't
We
know.
don't know. So right, but did they
But
know that it was coming? They
yeah,
they knew.
and I looked up the history of the documentary company, and they have produced very high quality
Right.
documentaries
Yeah.
about college sports and bridging the gap between reality and the dream that is pitched to college athletes.
So
And
the
so
director of this documentary, I mean, this is not the first one.
this is not the first time. It's like,
Yeah. So
from my perspective, from a production point of view, I think they did an awesome job.
right. So but the thing is, again, was this intended to be that way or not? Uh, I don't know. I mean,
I
you,
would
you have
say,
to put up the
I would say yes. We'll
okay.
start a fire, but we can control this fire. And what
We can
happens if the
control.
fire
Yeah.
cannot be controlled and it
What
rages?
happens if? Yeah, and what if? Yes, what if it goes out of control?
Yes,
And we in past shows we have talked about having like a
Con-
crisis type
control
of
burned.
yeah. So uh, I am assuming, right, that they had some type of crisis management plan in place, because they knew that in the documentary they were going to be touching on some very controversial topics, such as the salary that the cheerleaders are paid,
Yeah,
and the intensity of just joining the squad, right? The
yes.
crew of cheerleaders. It looks like a very extremely competitive place to be. So, and the fact that after doing all this work, trying to get in. You get in, and then on top of that, you have to keep up with all the training and all that stuff. And then when you get your paycheck, so anyway,
You
I
think to yourself, it's a good thing I have another job.
yeah, definitely. You know what you're getting into. You better get something else, right? Depending on your aspirations or how you want to manage this too, right? I mean,
Yes.
you know what you're getting into. You
Yes.
know how much you're gonna get paid. So, but this is your dream job, or this is something that you wanted to do. Okay,
Yes.
go ahead, but try to maximize it somehow, right? I mean, try to gain some following on social media. I don't know, something can be done about it. But going back to the this being intentional or